Hi, I'm Brian Finestein, CEO of St. Clare's Health, and welcome to Let's Talk Health. I'm here with Liz Silverthorne, our Director of Food Nutrition here at St. Clare's. Hi, Liz.
Hi, Brian.
Our topic today is finding the link between diet, immunity, and nutrition. So I'm going to ask you some questions, and hopefully we'll have some good information for our viewers.
Sounds good.
Okay, so, people today are very, very conscious of everything they're putting into their bodies. Some of it is diet related, but some of it is just, I really want to be very careful and making sure that I'm eating just the right things, vitamins, just the right vitamins. So can you give us a little bit of insight? Again, we're trying to find the link between diet, immunity, and nutrition.
Sure, Brian. I went into nutrition because nutrition is something that affects every single person on this planet every single day of their life because we all eat. And what's really fascinating is to realize the decisions of what we make to put into our body can impact the way we look, the way we feel, and our overall immune health. I don't know that following any type of fad diet you had mentioned or exclusionary diets, you see people omitting food groups altogether, is the answer for immune health, but we definitely know that nutrition and certain lifestyle behaviors can impact our immunity.
Okay. Now, I've read some things about what are called superfoods. Can you provide some insight there?
Absolutely. Superfoods are foods that give you the biggest nutritional bang for your buck. What comes to mind when I think of superfoods immediately is antioxidants. So foods rich in antioxidants. So then you might ask, well, what's an antioxidant? Mm-hmm. But let's just take a step back and talk about free radicals. So free radicals are compounds that are a result of certain environmental factors, maybe exposure to environmental toxins, smoking, poor behavioral choices, excessive alcohol, things like that. These free radicals attack our cells and over time can cause chronic conditions, chronic diseases. So what does that mean? Enter in antioxidants. Antioxidants fight these free radicals. Okay. And those who have diets rich in antioxidants really can see a reduced incidence of certain diseases. So then the question has to be, well, where do we find these antioxidants in food? The easiest thing to say is eat the rainbow. So think of all of those colors, the bright reds, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. Where do we see them? Largely in fruits and vegetables. So diets high in fruits and vegetables, hence high in antioxidants, definitely can boost your immune system.
Okay, thank you. Is there a preference to fruits or vegetables?
No, I think you're seeing the whole rainbow in all fruits and vegetables, so no.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Now, we've gone through some difficult times with COVID. Hopefully the worst is behind us. But again, there have been issues related to what do I eat during those times. Mm-hmm. And I guess I'm sensing if you're still staying with the rainbow, you're probably in good shape. Mm-hmm. But any other thoughts on any other lessons learned? Because again, people were isolating themselves, and what you want to be able to do is once you're out and about in a more normal environment, that you're still taking good care of yourself.
COVID did teach us a bunch of stuff about nutrition and health overall. I think if you went to the grocery store, you probably saw the vitamin and mineral shelves completely wiped out. And we did find out too, though, that it began to become common practice to prescribe things like vitamin D, zinc, vitamin C. So where did that come from, right? I don't think the thought was just to throw vitamins, although we do know antioxidants in health. We know that link is well established. But an early study on vitamin D early on with the severity of illness found that people who were vitamin D deficient had a greater severity of illness, meaning you wound up on a ventilator or even died. So that did become common practice, not so much as to give an added benefit of supplement, but to correct a deficiency.
Okay, so again, now we're in normal environmental terms. What's your sense about what people should be taking in terms of vitamins and supplements?
So that's a personal question, I think. Many people have their own personal convictions and beliefs about supplements. Some people take everything under the sun. Some people don't take any at all. I think what you need to do is take a careful look at your own diet. It is possible to plan the perfect diet while getting 100% of what's recommended as far as vitamins and minerals, but it is challenging. So that said, take a look and see what you might be missing. People omit certain food groups, vitamins, minerals, just because they don't know. They might have allergies or intolerances. Something that comes to mind in particular, though, is calcium and vitamin D. So take that, for example. Both are found in dairy products, right? Calcium, naturally occurring. Vitamin D is fortified in dairy products because it's very sparse in food sources, and we know the importance of vitamin D today. But what if you don't drink milk or you have a dairy allergy? You absolutely would need to take a supplement then. So I think, again, the answer is you have to take a critical look at your own diet and do what's right for yourself.
Now, so people, again, I hear talk about having these reactions, or that they are allergic to certain dairy products, or other food groups for that matter. How do you know, actually, what constitutes some type of a reaction or an allergy to certain products? Like you mentioned, dairy products.
Right. Well, there's two schools here. There's intolerances and then there's allergies. If you don't tolerate something, you might have mild gastrointestinal distress, among maybe some other minor symptoms. If you have an allergy, that could result in anaphylaxis, difficulty breathing, and a really emergent situation.
Okay. Now, again, we talk about immunity and your diet. Thoughts about that? Yeah, I know you had mentioned about taking certain vitamins because of deficiencies. Could you expand on that a little bit more on how we can best build up our immune system?
So, best bet to build up your immune system through nutrition, it might sound basic, but really is eating a balanced diet, one with plenty of fruits and vegetables. If you could think that the recommended amount of fruits and vegetables is about 5 servings in the day, or 5 cups and upwards, not many people get that. So if you start with that as your goal, then add in the fact to strive to eliminate added sugars, empty calories, and minimize highly processed and fatty foods, you'll be on the right track. The other thing to keep in mind, I know we all heard about pre and probiotics and gut health. About 70% of our immune system is centralized around our GI tract and our intestinal health. So you definitely want to make sure you're getting enough pre and probiotics in your diet.
Okay, thank you. Another area is infections. So what happens is, people come down with something and they find out they have some level of infection. How does nutrition come into play there?
So nutrition, like we sort of mentioned, you want to make sure that you don't have any deficiencies, because if your status is overall good, then your immune system is going to be good as well. The other thing to mention, though, with nutrition is it's linked to obesity, or poor nutrition, I should say, and it's linked to obesity. We know that obesity is a chronic condition. It's like a chronic, puts you in sort of a chronic inflammatory state. And that state of inflammation makes it harder for your immune system to ward off infection. So along with having proper nutrition, that means also having a healthy weight.
Okay. So sort of coming back where we started, we're trying to link nutrition, immunity, good health. How would you summarize one's approach that they should be taking to best ensure that they're hitting that goal?
It's going to be a balanced diet, and definitely all the fruits and vegetables that you can possibly eat, because it's going to displace the less desirable foods. And if you're eating a balanced diet with all of the amounts of everything that we should be getting, it will enable you to have a healthy weight, and you should be active, and good nutrition, healthy lifestyle, healthy weight would equal good immunity.
Liz, how is weight affecting your general health?
Very good question, and it has a huge impact on one's overall health. Ever hear of body mass index?
Sure.
Okay, so that is a number of your height in relation to your weight, and the higher that number is, the more likely you are to be susceptible to a chronic disease, diabetes, heart disease, things like that. So there's ranges for BMI, and obviously we all want to strive for the healthy range, because if we're in the healthy range, it means the risk of us getting a chronic disease associated with obesity is minimal. And the other thing about weight and health and immune function is that we know obesity is a state of chronic inflammation. And that state of chronic inflammation makes it harder to fight infection. And that was demonstrated very prominently during this past 2 years during the pandemic.
Okay, thank you. On sort of another note, again, people do fight with their weight, their waistline, if you will. Talk to us a little bit about portion control, and at least what type of discipline maybe you might suggest that we all take.
Okay, that's a great question too. Portion control, think about it a couple ways. If you're at a restaurant, you should never eat more than half of what's served to you. That's one rule of thumb. Second rule of thumb, if you have a normal size meal plate, half of that plate really should be vegetables and or fruits, and then divide the other side in half, and the 1/4 should maybe be your starch or carbohydrate, and the other 1/4 should be your protein. So if you think about it that way, you probably shouldn't be sitting down to a full bowl of pasta. Start your meal off with a big salad, you'll be full, and then you'll eat probably half the quantity of what you were originally setting out to do.
Okay, thank you, Liz.
Thank you, Brian.
Liz, we really appreciate the information you've given us. Viewers, we've got some very good information from Liz Silverthorne on nutrition, immunity, and our diet. So please look at our website for further information on not only this program but others, as well as on YouTube. And please look for future programs as we move forward. Thank you for your viewership.